Is the learning your students experiencing visible for them? Are they able to consider what activities are required, what steps they need to take to learn? Is their learning visible for you as their teacher? How will students learn what is intended? Visible learning is where teachers see learning through the eyes of students and begin to teach them in such a way that empowers students to becoming their own teachers. Let's explore ways that teachers can embed visible learning and teaching into their pedagogical practices. It is important that the activities students have for learning are stimulating, engaging, allowing for critical thinking, and giving them the opportunity to see the progress that they're actively making in each learning episode. For each learning engagement, students need to be clear about what they are learning and what they will be doing at different points to achieve the learning intentions, and the teacher is following their accomplishment to determine how students see their learning progressing. Some questions to ask are students able to explain the activity to each other? Do they have the opportunity to use scoring scales or criteria rubric to aid in visualizing what the learning looks like over the lesson and sequence of learning? Is the learning style used most productive for the student or group of students? It is imperative that the learning is geared correctly. The learning process has 6 components that interacts with each other and with emotions, behavior, social skills, teacher relationship, family dynamics, and classroom climate to produce the learning outcomes. It is important that teachers are focused on addressing factors that impact the process of learning, such as students' attention, language, writing, memory, processing, organization, and higher order thinking in the variety of learning activities they are exposed to over a sequence of lessons. Some questions to ask are students aware of the methodology? Are they conscious of how they are doing and why those approaches are the common ones promoted in the learning environment? Do students know what great students do during instruction and classwork? Are you modeling by thinking aloud? Are students able to articulate what the teachers want them to do? Can they record reference notes and examples? Are they capable of determining the next steps to take and decide when they need assistance? Can they articulate the steps needed to complete the learning activities? Are students using the evaluation criteria to evaluate their own learning during the activities? Students should be given the opportunity to reflect frequently on their learning experiences or ideas with a critical and analytical eye to truly evaluate their performance. They should have the chance to explore their process in tackling and solving problems and seeking out ways of improving their thinking, their motivation, their handling of information, the impact of their environment, and how to ensure the maximization of their learning so teachers are better able to facilitate their learning. Teachers can incorporate the use of mini reflection points to get students evaluating where they have come in their learning. They should also empower students to identify where they need further clarification in order to progress. Some questions that needs to be asked are students able to reflect on their own learning and decide what they can really do and how well they did? Are students constantly assessing and evaluating their abilities? Are students able to act on their assessment to achieve improvements? Teachers should validate students' reflection and self-assessment with feedback, establish students' expectations, and then confirm if they have achieved them and ensure students are genuinely challenging themselves. Use teacher assessment to personalize and design student learning pathways. Differentiate feedback to make them specific to students and provide them with dedicated improvement and response time to act upon feedback given. During the lesson, use progressive checks to provide students with timely feedback to have greater impact on their learning of new concepts or consolidation and application of newly learned ideas. Give room for students to feedback to each other so they learn to use requirements to demonstrate success. Some questions to ask are: does students' learning match what they think, lower or better than they think? Do students have specific insight as to what they did well? Are students able to explore how they could do better? Is there time earmarked for students to act on the feedback that is provided? Visible learning is important in developing exceptional learners who have the capacity to think critically, logically, analytically, strategically, and creatively. When teachers see learning experiences as students see it, they are better able to meet the needs of students and influence their progression. Understanding how activities, processing, reflection, and feedback impact students' progression changes the classroom climate and create facilitative teachers in a space where students are empowered to excel. What are some measures you have taken to maximize the effect of visible learning within your classroom? How else do you believe you can transform your learning environment so students' learning outcomes are enhanced?